Another day, another box, and this is another clone. And guess what? We've got the Behringer MS-1, which is a clone of the Roland SH-101, made from 1982 to 1985. Now very expensive because it became a techno icon. And this one is the RD version. And I don't think this has anything to do with Bono and the Red program, but whenever I see a product in red, I think of my man Bono, and wonder if I'm really just, a servant of his wishes. So let's unbox this thing and look at it. And this one is obviously used, but to find it in its original packaging was great. It's way cheaper than what Behringer was listing it for, and way cheaper still than what Roland charges now for the reissue. So looking at it, it's actually built really well. It's got a two-piece construction with a metal back and plastic top. More than I was expecting from Behringer. The only thing that feels weak is the bender. The layout is pretty simple. You've got your LFO and bender controls on the left. You have a mixer where you can move in 4 layers, including a sub-oscillator, which is awesome for making those real fat noises. And of course, you've got an envelope filter. And there's a mixer also for the external sounds, which is actually pretty cool here. And unlike that ARP 2600 that I was looking at recently, this thing's built for just instant fun. There are no presets. Everything is going to be what you create of it, which is pretty cool. It is a very simple analog synth, but it just is ready to rock out of the pack. Commercial failure. This thing resurfaced in the 90s for techno and industrial, and you can see Devo, KMFDM, Skinny Puppy, Mastercraft, like amazing bands use this instrument because it was so simple, so easy to use, and really just geared for action, which to me, in an analog or basically any synth, is so much more fun than having to overcraft and sound design to get something that's fun and really gets people's feet moving. But did you know this thing can also be a keytar? Yes, you can. Put on that awesome strap-on dong thing and make this into a keytar instrument. So let's show how easy it is to install. The original owner did not put these on, so I am doing this for the first time. Just going to unplug everything for safety, and be careful when I'm turning it over to not affect that bender knob or any of the other knobs that might be damaged. So I'm just going to lay it down gently, and then we're going to grab our keytar dong. It's got 2 prongs that you punch into the appropriate outlets there, and then you don't need you need maybe a Phillips head screwdriver to tighten these things down, but you just have some nice chrome plated torque screws, or like finger tight screws that you can add on the neck side. It's hardly a neck, it's more like a wiener, and then you will do the same thing on the right side. I'm not going to actually strap it on today. I'm just going to kind of show you how it's done. And kids, don't use a knife to do this. Get yourself a flat edge screwdriver and do it the right way. Don't follow Uncle Ted here. That is dangerous and also bad for the knife. But I hate this knife. All right, so with that, we can finish this job up and turn it over. And these things actually look pretty cool when they're attached. So I'm going to reattach, show everything. And unfortunately, the dong is right outside of camera shot, but I'll definitely show it later. So let's reattach everything, and I'm going to put this in the audio in because we'll use that in a little bit, and also put in our sound out so we can power the thing up. It does its little dance, and then music. Earlier I mentioned there was an arpeggiator. For a mono synth, arpeggiator is like super important. This one has 8 different arpeggiation patterns, which is great. I think if I was using it as a keytar, I'd probably want to think about using the arpeggiation because it's way simple and I can just do one key. Sorry, I'm like uncoordinated to play guitar guitar like a keyboard and a keyboard like a guitar. So I like to keep it simple if I'm ever strapping on a keyboard. These analog arpeggiations always get me. They're just fun, and especially when you add in the filter, there's so much like just greatness that you can do. And you see if it like with that latch pattern, if you try to go down too low, it will kind of just like bottom out, which is actually cool. And if you're doing techno, like something fun to think about, because like that where everything just plays the same note is actually a really nice way to change it up or just make people, you know, hook in a little bit. So the next thing to think about is the step sequencer. So this is obviously loads of fun also. And here you can record 8 times 8, that's 64 beats or notes in your step sequence. You can add in a hold, and you can just hit the record to start going, and then you'll key in your notes, and I'm just going to key in a simple 16 note sequence for fun here. And one thing to note is it will not save your sequence when you power down, so just like don't get too attached. So also to note, like once you have that sequence in, you can have it it's going to use the played note to act like a key and hold. So if I'm recording something from the G like I'm here, and I want to like play it like a D, I can do that just by recording or hitting the play button and keying the D note. So if you do a simple sequence that you want to be able to kind of like groove with, again, this is like another one where if I'm playing a keytar, that's about as like complicated as I want it. So that would be a thing I might do. So I'm just keying in that 16 note sequence for fun, and off we go. And of course it's pretty groovy because you can affect all of the controls while your sequence is playing. So you can have those filter sweeps, or you can mix in different things. You can change your ASDR envelope and really just like go crazy and just imagine a drum beat behind this and some other sample whatevers. You're instantly making good old-fashioned Roland techno. So loads of fun, and then I'm gonna add in some external sound. Feeding in some of the step sequence into the Behringer. Just give it a little bit of chirps in the background. You could get way more fun with this, but you can have kind of a mix, or you can have a gate. And I think overall the audio in is always fun with these things, and it seems to work pretty well here. And what's interesting to me is the portamento does not seem to play a step sequencer. I don't know if I necessarily want that. I'm a fan of portamento applied. as it is, but you know, sometimes it does add a little juice. And when you think about like the way that the Roland TD-303 functions, like how to, you know, kind of a glide operation in the beat sequence, it added a lot of like, you know, dynamicism that I don't think this one does. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, and you guys can let me know in the comments if you know anything I don't know. I did not get this with its manual. I'm too lazy to read the manual. Even if it was here, I'd probably be figuring it out as we go. Either way, really cool. So either way, really interesting, really cool thing. I love it right out of the box. If you have experience with it, let me know. Do like and subscribe if you want to know more. Bye.